Now let's all have a moment of silence for Teresa Palmer's cell phone. No, it's not that sad. Yeah, that's the only thing that died in this movie is her cell phone.
Yeah.
And this,
so we just got back
from The Choice.
seeing,
From The Choice.
The Choice.
Which is Nicholas Sparks' new attempt at a film that's probably not going. It's probably going to be another flop of his because it does. I don't know because most of them have been flops except for
actually no, none of them have been flops. I mean, I think the closest to a flop was The Best of Me, which made $36 million against a $26 million budget.
Actually, the lucky one with Zac Efron also didn't do that well.
That made like 90-something million.
Because I remember being like really low when it came out, like when it was first came out.
I have to say, I came into this movie expecting to hate it because I'm not that big a fan of romantic stuff. Although, seeing what my favorite book series is, that's really ironic.
Right. Well, this movie is targeted toward me because I'm a sucker for a good romance, but
I enjoyed it.
I did. Right. I felt, especially because I knew it was all about his wife was going to be in the Trish Palmer's going to be in a coma, but it happened at a point when the movie should have ended. Like it really should have ended at that point. And also not only that, but this movie was like it just went on. This movie went on for too long, and it's very by the numbers. Romance, and it's also a very typical relationship too. They get married and they have two kids, and of course it's got to be either a son and a daughter. It can't be either two sons or two daughters. It has to be a son and a daughter.
Actually, I don't think we've seen that in a Nicholas Sparks movie.
No, he's talking about generic romance. He's talking about generic romance.
Because this is actually the first full Sparks film I've ever seen. I've only seen bits and pieces of his others.
Oh.
That's it. So I'm talking more about generic.
Yeah, this isn't one of the best ones.
I had the same feeling I had from Upon a Midnight Clear. It's one of the books in my favorite series. Great book, but the ending just...
especially because
the same cop out.
I've been watching a lot of the show on Showtime called The Affair, which is also about relationships and stuff.
It's better.
And I felt that because that's such a realistic, like, it's also sort of a romance too because because the people who are having the affair are obviously who fall in love and all that, but it's handled in such a realistic way, and it is a really watching this coming off of that too is just like, no, this just feels, especially because that treats the people they're cheating on like with respect. The people in this, because they're kind of dating other people sort of at the time. Yeah. They're kind of treated as just the other people they're dating at the time like Tom Welling, who's the reason I kind of wanted to see this. I wanted to see how he does. I've always been kind of curious what he does post Smallville, so I was kind of curious about
that. Guy's gained weight.
One of the things I liked about this film is that I did not know a single person in the cast.
Really?
You didn't know? I knew a lot of them.
You didn't know?
I knew everyone.
You didn't know? I didn't know about Benjamin Walker, but
Benjamin Walker,
Teresa Palmer,
Lincoln,
she was
Vampire Hunter. He was Abraham Lincoln in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, there's also Maggie Grace, the daughter from Taken.
Teresa Palmer, she was in Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I didn't see that film.
Okay, and the Point Break remake. She looks much
different
in Point Break. She has a very inconsistent...
You're probably very glad you missed that. It's supposed to be terrible.
Yeah.
But
she has a very inconsistent Southern accent in this movie. I mean, there are some times where she doesn't even have it at all.
Tom Wilkinson, one thing I did really like was the acting.
Oh yeah, that was Tom Wilkinson.
Wow. Yeah. The acting was... Nobody did a bad job. It's just I didn't feel the script... And yeah, you're right. I just thought the script was just by the numbers for the most. And the humor, too, I felt was too cutesy. Everyone on the theater, even you, John, were laughing at hysterically everything that was supposed to be funny. But I'm just like, it just felt like the movie was just going, like when you go to like a live showing and they say laugh or applause. It just felt like that. Like it was just there could have been a sign saying laugh, people, laugh. It just felt like humor. Like it was just someone going, hey, like the director could have just come and go, hey, audience, this is a joke, laugh.
Well, way to make him feel bad for laughing.
Yeah.
I think my acting level was somewhere in between you guys.
I like the acting.
I didn't think it...
Actually, the best. Although, I have to admit, the best... Oh.
And also, the girl who plays Monica, Alexandra Daddario, she was in San Andreas. You know,
Oh.
she's the one with the brightest blue eyes I've ever seen.
She's actually
Other than Shoe Nice.
She's another actress who's actually really good, but she's
Yeah.
only done like a really good job on television. She was in True
True
Detective.
Detective,
She was really good on
Yeah.
that. Though I haven't finished that show yet.
Yeah.
But
I haven't even seen it.
she was really good on that. And she's also been in Percy Jackson and all that.
Yeah.
She's a good
And in
actress.
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah. She's a good actress. It's just like all these people I've known. John said he didn't recognize anyone, but I recognized
But I
quite
didn't.
a lot.
And I like that.
I recognize quite a lot of people from other things, and it's just and I just felt, like I said, for the most part, this movie was just mostly for me by the numbers. It just they didn't felt it, and not like you said, and like John said, there's the cop out. Even though I knew it was coming. The way it's handled too is really bad. Like it's just like that she's alive. She's just standing up like, hi! I'm like, what the heck?
Sitting up. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's how,
Yeah.
when people come out of comas, that happens. I think they're kind of tired. Like, oh, what? Like, I understand he was a bit late, I guess, but still.
And it might have taken him a while to get there. He had to cross a lake.
I know, but still, that just was kind of weird to me. Also, the kids are like, Mom, you're home, or something like that. Like, when you get out of a coma, you have to stay in the hospital for quite a while. You have to walk,
That's true, but they might have just not have shown all the time that went by in the hospital.
Yeah, I guess so. But well, no, I'm just saying because wouldn't the kids have visited her a lot in the hospital too?
Yeah, that's also
while she was
true,
going,
yeah.
because you have to go through physical therapy. Because it's not like you can just walk out. When you get a coma, oh, time to leave. Just walk.
Yeah.
You can't walk at first. You're like, because you've been asleep for so long, your legs are weak, so you have to go through physical therapy. I mean, she did look like she was stumbling around a little bit though, so that they did get that part right about it.
Yeah.
Like, cop out.
Yeah,
Still don't like.
So what the movie's actually about, it's basically about a womanizer, and basically he
It's
It's
a typical one of those. Oh, I like women and I'm charming and I get all the women I like. Oh, but this one girl, I love her.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like you. Oh. Sorry.
It starts off with him narrating, talking about choices in life. He says that every choice you make is going to lead to another somewhere. That's a decently meaningful line, but the payoff that it sees is really kind of
yeah, I don't.
It's really kind of trite.
I felt the whole. I don't really like it when like romance movies are like, life is like this, and then like they
like
tell
a box
you,
of chocolates
or something. Like, well, it was fine in Forrest Gump because that's a better movie. But when like something like this, like that obviously doesn't know what it's talking about, tries to tell me this stuff, I'm just like, no, you don't need to tell me. This is what life is like. Yeah, if it's for you, go away.
Yeah.
Just kind of that was, but and like I said, I was glad to kind of see Tom Welling getting work, I guess. But I'm just like, I don't want to see where he punches him. Like, how did he not die? Superman punches you in the face. How are you not dead?
Actually, you know what's strange? What I thought the best relationship in this entire movie was? It was between Travis and his sister. That's what I felt.
Yeah,
it was the most realistic.
Yeah,
actually,
probably.
They had good chemistry too.
Yeah.
They actually had better like not saying him and Trisha Palmer had bad chemistry. I'm just saying I think he had better chemistry with Maggie Grace than he did with Palmer.
I think he and Teresa Palmer they were all right, but just how right when they, I guess their romance isn't too rushed, but but the first time they start to lock lips, and then just like that, they're lying on the table and stuff.
They did it on the table?
Yeah, they did it on the table.
Yeah, to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, you walked out at that part for some reason. Were you refilling your drink or something?
No, I had to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, it just. I don't know.
Also,
especially because they get married, and then it's like, oh, time for a coma scene. And it's like, I just felt like maybe that should have happened in the middle when they weren't married first. Like, it would have tested their relationship maybe, and then.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is to show like he's made one choice and that's going to lead to another one. I don't get really what that choice was at the end. Was it just whether or not he was going to sign the paper?
I felt like, okay, so the big choice was whether or not to pull the plug. And she's awake. Yeah,
My problem-
that takes that choice and throws it out the window.
My problem is that it happens.
Cop out!
Like, because that's obviously they advertise that in the trailer like it's the main point, but it doesn't even happen until like the movie is like kind of near the end. It kind of felt like they should have just ended with them maybe getting married and then ended the movie or something like that, maybe or at least done the coma thing earlier instead of because after that point, like the movie, it became basically became a second movie about a woman, about a wife comatose.
True. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see
War
Room, but from what I've gathered about War Room, about how it starts off one way and then like it
Yeah.
loses focus and then changes into something else, and really
way more to that extent than this.
I mean, like I said, I didn't really feel much.
Damn it, that's mine.
That it was a cop out because I knew she probably was gonna live. I knew they probably weren't gonna go with she's dead.
Well, I don't know. Usually somebody dies by the end of a Nicholas Sparks story. I kind of thought she was going to die, but well, actually, probably not. If they didn't do it right away, then probably not.
But Tom Wilkinson was great too. I thought he was really good.
Yeah. Although
I didn't like that much though was the veterinary station, the secretary, the lady at the desk. I don't think she's called a secretary. I forgot what they're called, the veterinaries. She was obviously there just as a gag person to be like,
yeah.
She's basically discount Margot Manendale. I can't pronounce her name. Margot, what's her name?
I think we've
She's a
gone
great
on
actress,
about
but
enough.
she's always kind of a funny side. She's just there, but yeah, she was just kind of there to be on the desk and go, love her. I'm making a joke here.
And that whole deal with him crushing on that old woman, that goes nowhere.
Yeah, that just gets dropped.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't like the whole thing with Maggie Grace. Also, his sister also had to get married and have a baby too. Like, that's not everybody's future. Like, what if she stayed single forever or something?
Also,
like that?
cheating.
Well, that was my biggest problem with this movie, especially when.
Yeah, because there's no consequence for it. There's no problem with it. Like, there's no real consequence. It's just like, oh, it's okay. Even though I cheated on him, he just came back a few days the next morning and asked me to marry him.
Although he did get punched out.
But it really, that
was the highlight of this movie for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then like,
and you know when
you see him again later, he's like, "Oh, it's okay that you stole a girl from me because now I'm
7 years later, he probably got over it."
Yeah. The guy's still a doctor.
Yeah,
like professionalism.
But when the guy shows up at like that carnival, I can't remember what.
Really awkward.
Yeah, and so she. Of course, anyone could predict this. She starts to feel like she's just another one of those girls that Travis, that he plays, and so she doesn't really acknowledge that.
He got laid out. I like that. Bam.
Yeah, and so the thing that, and so the fact that she's. The fact that she's blaming him for being with her at the same time as these other girls, it's kind of hypocritical because she was willingly doing so with him behind Ryan's back.
Also.
And so yeah, she just the guy pops the question later, and then she just breaks off the engagement. I mean, where was even the choice there? I mean, it was her choice, not Travis's.
Also, I didn't like the car accident scene either. I thought that was kind of the cheesiest car scene, like slow motion. And then now we gotta focus on her destroyed.
Yeah, we get like two really slow.
If you're with someone and you find, you find someone else, you cut the bridge first.
Yeah. You want to talk about
so her car gets T-boned.
You want to talk about a good car crash scene? There's that scene from what was it called? The one with Rooney Mara and Jude Law, where it's about drugs or something like that, and she kills Channing Tatum or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but that was a really good film. And there's a scene where it wasn't actually a car, like she crashed the car into the. It was handled really well. It wasn't like, dude, she crashed slow motion. It's just the crash was filmed really cool. I felt they should have done something like that, maybe where the car just crashed into a car and it went black, maybe in a certain way, instead of just slow motion phone.
This is literally how the car crash plays out. So her car gets T-boned, and it's inside the car, and there are like two really prolonged shots of her going
her
right, and
like,
all
it's a very cliched. It's where
the glass is flying, and right after it cuts to a close-up of the phone breaking apart. No, now she can't call Travis to come do CPR on her.
I know, when I saw that scene, for some reason, I kept thinking of Darth Vader going, no! I don't know why. That just popped right into my head when I saw that.
Okay, I'm finding far more...
No, I can't. No! Now she can't call AAA.
Okay, now that you guys bring up some pretty good points about this, and I'm starting to rethink my opinion on this movie.
Oh, we talked you out of it?
I still like part of it, but
to be fair, to be fair, it does have one of the most awesome proposal scenes ever.
Oh yes, like honest
it was so confusing.
No, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Yeah. I thought it was all right. Like I said, I felt like most of the comedy that was just kind of, hey, here's a funny scene. You can tell because it's wacky. Like I don't know. I just felt it was in my like.
I think we've talked about this enough. Yeah. Let's get on with this.
Well, I do want to bring up though that one thing I don't, like I said, I don't hate this film. I don't think it's the worst. It wasn't like sitting through it, I was like, I want to leave. It wasn't like Scary Movie 5 levels where I was just like sitting there like, I want to go home now or anything. It wasn't like that bad. And one thing I did like better about this than the last movie we saw was that it did know what it was trying to be. It wasn't trying to, we're trying to be this fun thing, but we don't want to go too far. So but I felt this film it knew what it was, even though it just kept, even though, like I said, my biggest problem was just that it just kept going after a point where it probably should have ended instead of this whole, like, thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it deserves a 6%.
No.
But
definitely not.
But I would still say it's probably the third worst out of all the Nicholas Sparks adaptations, only behind Message in a Bottle and Nights in Rodenti. And I'm not a guy. I'm not one who says that every Nicholas Sparks story is just all the same. I really don't get why people say that. I mean, there are similar.
They do have similar
parts. I mean,
because I'm not. Everyone always says, "Oh, it's got to take place on a beach or something." Well,
yeah,
it kind of does, but it's always somewhere sunny or whatever. There's barely, you never see. I don't think I've ever seen a Nicholas Sparks movie that takes place in the winter.
Yeah. Here's kind of what I think. I think it's that because you can kind of link the one Nicholas Sparks movie to like the one that came before it in like some small way, and that's kind of a thing with most of the rest. But if you think of like two that were kind of that weren't released very close together. Like, for example, Chris Stuckman reviewed both Lucky One and The Longest Ride, and the funny thing is, he claims that they're just all the same, but he gave two completely different descriptions for Lucky One and Longest Ride. The one he says what the story is as it corresponds to what the movie he's reviewing is about.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's more complaints I've seen is that his films, for the most part, from what I've gathered, are by the numbers romance. Like he's written so many that are just kind of the same for them, and not in exactly the same, just kind of like romance in a way by the numbers. And they're also really, I don't really like saying this so much, but like white. Like they have like in the movie, everyone else is white except for like they have one black friend and his wife, and they're in the background half the time. It's like, hey, well, then they're just gone. So I guess that's another problem. Some people have because it's just really white. Romance wise too.
I can forgive
really like romance for the most part.
I can forgive most of the issues this movie has But the
Okay.
cop out. The cop out is my major problem, and I know I've said this before in this multiple times in the review, but damn it!
And there, like I said, there were some jokes that did,
Careful of the
even
phone.
though most of the
gonna
jokes
fall over again.
kind of missed for me. There were some jokes that did get me kind of like I was like, okay, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like the scene, the girl and the lizard, and I can't remember what he said that made me laugh.
Actually, I'm not sure I get what the point of that scene was. It was just a choice he had to make, but it doesn't really lead to anything
Well, it's
else.
just more of a gag. It's just something
Yeah.
funny. That's
Yeah.
all. It really
That's
was.
terrible. He,
Well,
his
you
dad
can-
tells him to just tell her that her lizard resurrected by replacing the dead one with a live one,
Also,
one that
doesn't
isn't
make
even the
sense, too.
same color.
Yeah, it was like hers was like brown, and that was
Yeah,
green, wasn't it?
that's weird.
Yeah,
Was Jesus green when he resurrected? I don't know.
was Jesus a lizard?
Maybe it was
Dun,
blue.
dun, dun!
Sorry, I said that.
Yeah. I think we've gone on enough. Let's just grade this sucker.
Let's dress
And
Del
get on to
Toro, who
trailers.
I think he thinks
Okay.
Jesus is a bug.
Yeah.
Let's get on to this. So I'm gonna give this. It's definitely in the C range. Somewhere between C minus and just a C.
Really?
Yeah. Because I actually did like the characters for the most part. The romance for me seemed believable, but the cop, like I said, the
Yeah, yeah.
cop out
It
puts
just
a
felt-
major
it felt
dent
very
on
Hollywood
this.
to me, really. It felt more like a Hollywood romance to me than a real one.
I'm still waiting for any of my favorite book series for a movie. Why? They're good
you gotta
books.
Wait. You gotta wait. They might. You never know. Sometimes like
I'm probably gonna be old and gray before they're made. Let's
Don't
yeah.
worry. They'll probably will.
Okay.
About it.
Why do people refer to Hollywood romances as well that when Hollywood also brings out believable romances?
This is true.
Sometimes they do bring out some, but most
Yeah.
of them are just kind of by the book. But
I know that the people like to our right were definitely enjoying this movie, so
the girls, yeah, they were crying during the whole
Yeah.
sad
Yeah.
scenes. Like it's not that sad. There's worse things.
Definitely. Okay,
At least
so
his
what?
wife didn't have to live as a
Let's do
vegetable her
this.
whole life.
Let's do this.
Okay. Get to your grade. Your next box.
You're next.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's bad. I mean, I laughed a few times, but I think it's one of the weaker Nicholas Sparks adaptations. I mean, I loved Dear John, Notebook, Longest Ride, and Walk to Remember, but yeah, this is one of the weaker ones.
I'll probably just give it like a C minus. Probably. I mean, it just wasn't really much to it really for me.
Yeah.
Just kind of. I mean, it's not even that it's like if you talk to like most women about this, it's like, oh, I didn't like it, Nicholas Sparks. Well, you're not a girl. That's not a very good
Yeah.
excuse because like Nostalgia Critic said, Hollywood knows that, so they're just gonna make a lazy movie and just go, oh well, you're a girl, you're stupid, and make a lazy movie and just throw it at your face because they know you're dumb because they think you're stupid.
There are guys who are into that too. I mean,
that one movie,
Like I
you
said,
just
my
don't get it
favorite.
because you're a girl. It's an action movie. Stuff like that. It's just I hate when people say that because Hollywood knows that and they're like, so we could just make this one thing with all this stuff in it, make it super lazy, and you'll love it. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, C minus for me.
Okay,
I
so
went into this though. I
definitely
wasn't expecting to like it, but I was still disappointed because I was hoping that it was going to be another Endless Love remake. I remember seeing that one on Valentine's Day, and it was so
also
funny
known
because
as Singles Awareness Day.
yeah, yeah, and what really cracked me up is that, and not just the movie, but the fact that how there were moments that were trying to be serious, and I was laughing so hard at them, and these girls in front of me are looking back like, "You're sick." I'm like, you can't be blind to how ridiculous this is.
Yeah,
We should all watch it. I mean, I've got so
Definitely.
many jokes for it. We gotta,
definitely.
yeah. Where should we get together? Huh?
I
Yeah,
don't know,
that'd be fun.
man. I don't know.
Someday.
Okay, let's trailers. Let's
maybe-
let's go through trailers.
Maybe
Trailers.
I'm actually working every day this week or next week except for Friday. Okay. Well. All right. Well, let's move on. Then to
Zootopia.
trailers. Zootopia.
Zoo. I've seen this trailer before, even though I came in a bit late, but I've already seen it. So.
Yeah, I came in late too.
But I don't particularly like this trailer so much because it's kind of fast. It's one of those fast trailers. Doop, 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 doop. Like Disney's very good at making like I remember. Like I like the movie Bolt, but the trailer for it was just so edited so fast, and it's like, oh no, oh it's so funny, and then the sad scene's like, you gotta be hard. Let's go back to a funny scene. Like it did that. Like it was like there was a scene where it was being really funny. Then it would stop for a second, and Jason Bit I'm talking about the Zootopia trailer, and then where Jason Bateman's like, we have to work together, and it's like all serious, and then it's like funny again. It's like what the heck? Calm, slow down.
I guess they had to make up for the sloth trailer.
Yeah. I think the sloth trailer is still because the DMV is the worst.
My favorite part has got to be
proof the devil exists.
Slowly. Yeah.
Proof. Okay.
What do you call a three-humped camel pregnant? Okay, and then the other one was...
If there is proof the devil exists, it's in the DMV. Like, how am I going... I can see Lucifer sitting downstairs going, how do I torture the humans? Aha!
It's called DOL here. It's called the DOL here. Department of Licensing.
I don't care what you call it. It's still aggravating.
I don't know. Every time I've gone there, I've always gotten... It's never been that bad.
Like, this is one of the many reasons why I don't have a car.
Okay.
Okay,
the other one was Me Before You. And that was Amelia Clarke in that trailer, right?
Yeah. I've seen that. I've also seen that trailer before too. So, and even though I missed it, I think it looks alright. Actually, looks more interesting for a romance. I've seen like most romance trailers make me go ooh or something, but that one actually doesn't look that bad. Especially because mainly because I like those actors. It doesn't look that bad. It looks cute. I can definitely see myself seeing it.
The perfect match, which no, I'm not gonna see.
Oh God, no, I don't want to see that either. It's just. Especially because it gets to the point of the whole thing about him finding this one girl really late into the trailer. Like, it's like the very, like, when the trailer's almost over when it gets to that point. And just, yeah, it was one of those lazy trailers. And it's one of those movies that's trying to cash in on the whole, people want a film with all African Americans in it. Let's do that because it makes money. That's another thing too that I think they're gonna like when it's just a girl movie, so they'll make those lazy. I think they're gonna do that too with just like they can make a lazy film and then just put a bunch of put ethnic any ethnic whatever and just put them in and then it'll make money because they'll make money.
One of these days, I do want to see a romance movie that has slightly overweight teenagers.
Yes. Oh, I want to see.
Be diverse. Yeah.
I kind of want to see a movie with like. Where a handsome man or a handsome girl falls in love with an ugly, like maybe not a very attractive person too. I would like to see that.
Then check out She's Out of My League. That's one of those movies.
I saw She's Out of My League. It's all right. It's more of just he's kind of a nerd. That's what it really is. Because
he's an average Joe. He's not like a 2 or 3. He's a 5. But...
Yeah, because I saw that movie. It had some funny moments. T.J. Miller was great in that movie. That was like
I forgot T.J. Miller was in that.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I do want to say about this. One more thing about the choice. The girls right behind us actually did kind of make the movie worth it. Just their reactions was great. Especially just when the puppies, puppies, and then when it was sad, they're crying. It was great. Except for when they're on their phones. That was the only annoying part. I'm like, oh,
okay.
Don't you?
Okay, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's.
Okay, so
now
next
one more
week's
bow in silent for the cell phone.
For the cell phone.
For the cell phone.
Okay, that's over. Let's go.
Okay.
Tomorrow we're gonna go see movies, right?
Yeah, sure. Hail
but
Caesar, Big Short.
I'm not gonna be there. So what's next? What's up next week?
Next week, speaking of T.J. Miller, we got Deadpool.
Right.
Which I'm not looking forward to as much as everyone else. But
yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that it's probably going to be this movie for you, Guardians.
Most likely.
Well, it's just kind of it's just the fact that it's a hard R-rated comic book movie.
Yeah,
there are
everyone.
parts of the Green trailer that made me laugh. But
because Deadpool's not for everyone, and that's
All right.
But we should definitely check. I think you should definitely check it out. See what you think. Is you never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
even though you probably won't, you never know. You might end up liking it maybe
Yeah.
a little bit.
I do want to see How to Be Single. That's out next week too.
I don't want to see that. I don't like Rebel Wilson.
I think this.
I
I
like
think
Rebel
this.
Wilson.
I think
I
this
don't.
particular night worked out well because we got a really good balance of films.
Yeah.
Like both films
Yeah,
balanced
kinda.
each other out.
Especially, like I said, the irony that we saw Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, and then Benjamin Walker was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which is from the same writer as Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got How to Be Single, Deadpool, and Zoolander 2.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I still got to see the first Zoolander. That's still on Netflix,
I have
right?
it on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, so
All right. So we got a full weekend next week too. So
Oh, that's my mama.
all right.
okay, so see you next week.
All right.
See you there, or be Nicholas Sparks. See. Or dead cell phone. There you go. Dude. Remember to pray.
Okay, let's close this thing. Come on.
Shine a light for the dead cell phone.
All right. Shine the light on you, dead cell phone.
If only I had a lighter.